Welcome back, everybody, to the Miami Marlins franchise here on MLB The Show 23. We are currently in the month of June here in season number 4, and the team is currently 42-26. We're coming off of some good series wins against the Giants and the Atlanta Braves, who are one of the best teams in baseball. And we've been playing pretty well, despite the fact that we've been super injured. Gavin Lux should be back pretty soon. Nick Fortes still is a little while, and of course Jordan Hicks is out for the entire season. We did get Luis Robert back in the last episode. He missed around 7 weeks with a broken hand, but he is back in the lineup, and he's been playing quite well since he has returned. The offense is still playing quite well. The pitching has still been quite inconsistent, and as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, we may very likely look to acquire another starting pitcher because the young guys we were hoping would step up haven't really done that. We've got a 3-game set against the Phillies, and this one's important because us and the Phillies are competing for the top wild card spot. We do have the edge over them currently by a few games, but this 3-game series is still going to be very important, and we're going to hop into this first game. I don't think I've pitched with Gennaro Miller yet this year, so I want to pitch with him, see how he's doing. He has not played all that well over the last month or so, so I'm going to be hoping that we can change his fortunes today against a talented Philadelphia Phillies lineup who have got quite a few good players, albeit no Bryce Harper as he is currently hurt, but all their other guys are healthy and available. As for the Marlins, regular starters for the most part, all things considered with the injuries. Here's a look at the lefty, Gennaro Miller, the two-way star. Hasn't exactly been a star on the mound, per se, this year. He's 1-5, 5.21 ERA, 1.78 WHIP. He just has not been all that good as a pitcher. Quite a bit worse than he was last season, and we're hoping things can turn around, and that's not a good start, as Trey Turner rips it into the left field gap for extra bases. De La Cruz hustles over to it, but not before Trey Turner is aboard at second with a double, and the speedster is in scoring position with nobody out. Perfect opportunity for him to score. Bryson Stott bloops this one into left, and that'll score Trey Turner with ease. An RBI single for Bryson Stott, and the Phillies are already on the board. They'll take an early 1-0 lead. That'll bring up Juan Soto with Stott headed for second. He is out of there! Woody Landry behind the dish, getting the start at catcher today, makes the throw. Following pitch, Soto goes down looking on the fastball. As we go to the bottom of the first, we'll get a look at the lefty, Bailey Falter. 4.48 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. He's been fine for a back-of-the-rotation starter as the Phillies sub Hyu Lee in at third base. They've had Darrow O'Monahan starting every game this year, and he's gotten one at-bat before being subbed out. They did this the last time we played them, and they're doing it again. I think there must be some kind of glitch. I don't know how to explain it. Luis Ariz will lead things off here for the Marlins. The average down to 287. It'd be a career low for him as he strikes out on the fastball. Jazz Chisholm is up now, batting from the 2-hole today as he rips this one down the left field line. Oppo Poppo looking for extra bases. Jazz Chisholm is aboard with a double, and the Marlins have the speedster on second with one away. That'll bring up Woody Landry now with 2 gone. Woody's been on fire over the last month and a half. He's been the best hitter on the Marlins this year. He hits it sharply in right center, but it is caught to wrap up the inning as we go into the second. Nick Castellanos will bloop this one past the glove of Luis Ariz into right field for a base hit. The Phillies start the second with another base runner, as that'll bring up Hyu Lee, who strikes out on the fastball. Good pitch by Gennaro Miller. Former Marlins prospect Joe Mack is up. He strikes out. JT Realmuto has been hurt quite a while for the Phillies. Mack has been the full-time starter at catcher, and he's been quite good. Bottom 2, Luis Robert starts things off strong. He'll hit this one into the right field corner for a leadoff double. Robert is in scoring position with nobody out. We'll see if the Marlins can drive him in. Robert now on third for Brian De La Cruz, who hits this one high and deep into right field. At the track, at the wall, it's caught. That will still score the run, though, off of the sacrifice, as Robert scores without much issue. And the Marlins tied at 1 with an RBI sacrifice fly from Brian De La Cruz. Let's move into the third inning now. 2 away, tied at 1. Nobody on for Rhys Hoskins, who lines it to third. Berry tries to block it, and the throw on to first is not in time. It's an infield single for Hoskins. That'll bring up the following batter, Nick Castellanos, who rips it to third, and it's caught by Jacob Berry to wrap up the inning. Good defense at the hot corner. Berry will lead off the bottom of the third, coming off his nice defensive play. Berry was great in the month of May. He's definitely cooled off here in June as he hits it up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Trey Turner. Throw to first is in time. They got him. But the Marlins think otherwise. Manager Skip Shoemaker will look to challenge the ruling on the field. He believes that the runner was safe at first. So let's get another look at it here with the instant replay. And it looks like it's going to be really close, but right there. Foot is on the bag before the ball gets into Hoskins' glove. Call is overturned. Infield single for Berry. Luis Ariz now rips it into center field for a hit. And the Marlins open up the bottom of the third inning with 2 early base runners. That'll bring up Bo Bichette. Now with runners on the corners, he's going to ground this one into right field for a hit. Jacob Berry will score, and the Marlins take a 2-1 lead off of the RBI single by Bo Bichette. 2 on, 1 away. Huge at bat for Woody Landry, who was dominant in the last episode. He grounds it to first, and the Phillies will turn to a 3-6-1 double play. But the Marlins take the lead off the single by Bichette. Hao-Yu Lee strikes out on the changeup. Good pitch by Gennaro Miller, who has pitched well these last few innings. Bottom 4, Luis Robert crushes it into left field, slams the bat, and it's 3-1 Marlins. Luis Robert with his 4th homer of the year. That one was a rocket off the bat. 111 miles an hour of exit velo. That ball barely went in the air. Only a launch angle of around 20. But it ends up traveling over 430 feet because he just happened to hit the ball so hard. Big swing by Robert. Also a sick bat throw as well as the Marlins extend their lead. I want to look at this one again, as that one again doesn't get off the ground all that much, but he hit it so hard, there's more than enough distance to make it all the way into deep left. So the Marlins extend their lead. They're now up 3-1. Anthony Santander up next. Rips it into right field, and that'll go for a hit. The offensive entourage continues for the Marlins. They've really hit the ball well early today. Brian De La Cruz is up now. He's going to ground this one over to short. Should be a double play. 6-4-3, and the Phillies turn 2. They needed that one before the Marlins could potentially really take this lead out of hand. Into the 5th inning now. Rafael Lantigua leads things off of a base hit. With Gennaro Miller pitching well, we're hoping we can get another inning out of him at least. But the Phillies are starting to hit it well again. Trey Turner singles into center. And that's the first 2 batters of the inning aboard, and a nice opportunity for the Phils to cut into this lead. Juan Soto with 1 away, rips this one into the right center gap. Robert is playing deep, so Soto can only get a single, but 1 run scores, and it's now 3-2 with runners on the corners. From there, Gennaro Miller will be taken out of the game. He's starting to get rocked here early in the 5th. He'll be replaced by Reynaldo Lopez, who's been phenomenal this year. 1.27 ERA, sub-1 whip. He's been great as he faces off against Rhys Hoskins, who grounds this one into right for a hit. Turner scores, and we are tied up at 3. Good swing for Hoskins to knock this one up. That'll bring up Randall Grichuk now, who lines this one into left. Could be a tough play for De La Cruz. He's not going to try to catch it. Instead, he's just going to try to make sure it doesn't get by him. The Phillies assumed he was just going to catch it, so they can't really advance the runners too far. Now the bases are loaded. That'll bring up Castellanos, who lines it into right. Kevin Alcantara completely misplays it. He thinks he has the ball. Then he picks it up. His throw is way offline, and Castellanos turns a single into a triple with all 3 runners scoring. What a horrible defensive display by Kevin Alcantara, who I don't know if he thought he fielded the ball or what. Is he on drugs or something? So something's got to change out there in right field. Alcantara is going to be removed from the game. He'll be benched for Jesus Sanchez, while Reynaldo Lopez is yanked. He doesn't record a single out, and he'll be replaced by A.J. Puck. He'll make it through the rest of the inning as Lantigua flies out to Robert. A big inning for the Phils as they score 5, courteous of some of the worst defense I think I've ever seen from Kevin Alcantara. The Phillies are going to make a pitching change of their own with James McArthur entering the game. He has not been good this year with an ERA at around 6. He's making his way through the inning pretty easily, now facing off against Woody Landry, who strikes out on the changeup as the Phillies are up by 3 into the bottom of the 6th now. McArthur still in the game, still pitching well, as Brian De La Cruz will draw a walk. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, who enters the game early after Kevin Alcantara was seeing flying colors in the outfield. It seems like Turner and Stott kind of had trouble with the ball, but they're both able to get it to second and get the out as we move into the 7th. Dylan Tate is in for the Marlins. He's only allowed 1 run so far in 11.2 thirds innings. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith, as there's a drive in a deep left center field by Castellanos. That'll go for a home run, and so it is now a 7-3 ball game. The Phillies extend their lead. Castellanos with his 7th homer of the season, just the 2nd run of the year Dylan Tate has allowed. Hao-Yu Lee looking to join the hit parade as he hits it into center. Robert is slow to get to it. You know it's bad when Brian De La Cruz is the only guy in the outfield who's playing good defense, when we know in games that we play he is an awful defender. Another hit. It's a single for Joe Mack into right. So Dylan Tate's going to be taken out of the game. He'll be replaced by Camilo Duvall, who hopes to get the Marlins out of the jam. Runners on the corners, 2 away for Trey Turner, who strikes out on the cutter. Good job by Duvall to make it through the 7th, but the Phillies add another run, courteous of the Nick Castellanos homer. Into the bottom of the 7th now. Jazz Chisholm up with 2 away. He strikes out. That's 3 scoreless for MacArthur. The Marlins have not been able to hit him at all today. Duvall remains in the 8th inning as Hoskins with 2 away grounds it to first. Camilo Duvall retires the side. Duvall's whip right now is at like .5. He has been unbelievable over the last 2 months or so. And it's especially impressive because the Phillies have hit the ball really well today. 16 hits. Carlos Rodriguez will come out of the bullpen for Philadelphia in the bottom of the 8th. He has an ERA at around 6. Nice opportunity for the Marlins to potentially make a comeback. Bo Bichette lines it into right center field. That'll drop for a hit. Good start. Bichette is aboard with a single. And we'll see with the middle of the order due up if the Marlins have any fight left in them for this game. Woody Landry is ahead 3-1, and he grounds it right to first. A potential double play, and the Phillies will turn 2. Rough one for Woody Landry, and to make matters worse, Bo Bichette hurt his finger. As he slid into second, he'll have to be taken out of the game. It's not a broken finger, but he appears to be in a lot of pain. As I look at the slide here, I don't see how he really could have gotten injured. I assume it's one of the fingers on his right hand. It never hits Trey Turner. It never collides into the ground. It always stays in the air. So I don't really know how it could have gotten hurt, but I'm not a doctor. So whatever. Into the 9th inning, Hao-Yu Lee grounds it to second. Jazz makes the play. Camilo Duvall with over 2 innings of work, and I don't think he allowed a base runner. His whip is getting even lower now. Eric Ullman will look to finish off the game here in the bottom of the 9th for the Phillies as he faces off against Jacob Berry down to the final strike. Berry bloops this one into left, and it will be caught. The Phillies win the first game of the series by the final score of 7-3. The offense started the game off well through the first 4 innings, and then we completely forgot how to hit. 1 base hit after the 4th inning. And obviously that top of the 5th inning was an utter disaster. The Phillies just kept getting base runners. Then Kevin Alcantara had the play where he was seeing ghosts in the outfield, which led to another at least 2 runs being scored just because of that. Luis Robert with a homer, Bichette and De La Cruz with the RBIs, and Bo Bichette suffers a finger contusion. He'll be out for around a week or 2, which is not the end of the world, but still unfortunate. Rob Refsnyder will be called up from AAA to replace him on the roster. We're going to do some simming as we wrap up the series against the Phillies. Then we've got 3 games against the Reds, leading to a West Coast road trip, which will be simming against the Diamondbacks. Gavin Lux is back healthy after his broken leg that he suffered in late April. That's pretty exciting. So he'll be activated. He's not actually healthy yet, but he will be within the next couple of days. Rob Refsnyder will go back down to AAA, and then just a couple days later, Gavin Lux would officially be cleared to play, and Bo Bichette would also be cleared on the same day. So now we have to send somebody down with Bo back. We're going to send out Ryan Poles. He's played well, but we don't really need him for the time being. We ended up doing decently well. We split the final 2 games of the Phillies. We swept the Reds, including a 13-3 win, but then we got swept right back by Arizona. I would have liked to have gotten revenge on Arizona for them beating us in the playoffs last year, but you can't have everything you want. That'll bring us to this 3-game set against the Astros. We're going to hop into this first game. I want to get a look at Jesus Luzardo. He's had a pretty up-and-down season, so I wanted to pitch with him. It is worth also noting that we're not going to be doing any prospect profiles today. We're going to be saving more of those for the next episode. So let's hop into Game 1 of a 3-game set here in Houston against the Astros. For them, Yordan Alvarez is currently injured, so they will not have him. And their lineup without him certainly looks a lot less intimidating. Let's get a look at Luis Garcia, rock the baby, on the mound for the Astros. In 7 starts, he is 5-0 with an ERA in the 6s. He's not exactly rocking the baby this year, but, I mean, he's 5-0. He's winning games, even if he hasn't been good at all. Runner aboard here for Luis Robert. He goes down looking. What a great pitch. Can't blame Robert for looking at that one. That one definitely looked low and a little bit outside, but Garcia places it perfectly. Full count now for Jazz Chisholm. He strikes out as well, going down on the fastball. As we go into the bottom of the first, and we'll get a look at Jesus Luzardo, the lefty. I was hoping he would really build off his great season last year, and that hasn't exactly been the case. 4.86 ERA, 1.46 whip. He just has not been all that good. Facing off against Ketel Marte, who will draw a walk on the circle change, and the Astros have the runner aboard. Kyle Tucker walks as well on the inside fastball. That's 2 on. That'll bring up Jose Altuve, who also walks. So Jesus Luzardo walks him loaded here in the first inning, as he will strike out Keibert Ruiz. That would have been a walk had he not swung at it. Jesus Luzardo's got to find the strike zone. Joe Perez rips it into center. That'll score 2. Kids, this is why you need to be able to keep your pitches in the strike zone. Luzardo had no command in this first inning, and because of that, 2 runs scored. So the Astros are on the board already. They lead it 2-0 going into the second, as Jesus Sanchez actually gets a generous call. That pitch was in the strike zone. They called it a ball. I never thought an umpire would be nice to Jesus Sanchez. I thought they all hated him. Sure enough, it ends in a walk. Obviously, that pitch was a ball, but still, I'm surprised that the umpires actually gave him a call for once. It won't matter, as Austin Wells strikes out on the 12-6. 2 strong innings so far for Luis Garcia as we move into the bottom of the second. Former World Series MVP Jeremy Pena pops it up. Much better inning here for Jesus Luzardo as he retires the side with ease, and it remains 2-0. Into the third now, Gavin Lux, his first at-bat in around 2 months after breaking his leg. He'll strike out on the outside fastball. Should not have swung at that pitch. Luis Arias is up now. He's feeling Marlin with a hit so far, and he'll get another one. He's now 2 for 2 with a single into the right center gap. He thought about 2, heads back to first. I think he would have been safe had he gone to second, so he might be kicking himself for that decision. That'll bring up Luis Robert now for the Marlins with a runner aboard and 1 away. And Robert hits this one sharply into right, and it'll drop in front of Kyle Tucker for a single. And so now there's 2 runners aboard here. Great opportunity for the heart of the order to drive in these runs. Runners on the corners now. 2 away for Woody Landry. The count is 2-2. And, ooh, that was close. A tough one to lay off. But it is going to be called a ball. And now the count is full for Woody Landry. Pitch on its way from Luis Garcia. That one was not so tough to lay off, and Woody gets a walk, and now the bases are loaded. But if we've learned anything about this Marlins team, they are garbage with the bases loaded. Can Bo Bichette change that potentially here for this at-bat? He might. This one's got a chance to drop, and it will not. It's caught by Kyle Tucker. Miami leaves them loaded here in the third as the Astros hold on to their 2-0 lead. Into the bottom half of the inning, Ketel Marte leads things off. He hits this one well in right field for a hit. For those of you who watched the Guardians franchise last year, you guys probably know Ketel Marte quite well. He was a big part of that team. Kyle Tucker strikes out on the fastball. Good pitch by Luzardo. Jose Altuve now rips it down the line. Jazz Chisholm playing at third today, unable to make the grab. And that'll be a double with 1 away for Jose Altuve. And the Astros have 2 runners in scoring position. 2 away now for Joe Perez. Full count, draws a walk, and the bases are loaded. That'll bring up Jacob Melton, who strikes out. And just like Miami, the Astros leave them loaded. No runs scored for either team here in the bottom of the third, although they both should have scored, having them loaded. As we move into the fourth, Jesus Sanchez up for the Marlins. He strikes out on the fastball. Sanchez is milestone chasing. He's got 99 career big league homers, looking for number 100, possibly today maybe. Austin Wells rips this one into left field. That one goes off the wall. The benefits of having a shallow wall. You know what the downsides are? The fact that it's easier to throw out runners. Wells is out going to second. Good throw by Jacob Melton, and it remains 2-0. Yanner Diaz crushes this ball into left center field. It'll bounce into the little alleyway in left center. That'll go for a double. Jesus Luzardo really has not pitched well at all today. The Astros are hitting it well off of him. He has no command at the strike zone. The Marlins are going to pull the plug now and take him out of the game. 3 innings, 2 earned runs so far. We'll see if this one is driven in as well. Not a good game here from Luzardo, who's continued to just not have a good year. He'll be replaced by Connor Prelup. Max Meyer is unavailable. He just pitched a couple days ago, so it will be Prelup who gets the long relief duty today. He'll face off against Chas McCormick, Westchester's finest. He goes down on strikes. 2 away now for Ketel Marte. Grounds it to first. Woody Landry flips it over to Prelup, and we are through 4. It remains 2-0. Both teams, particularly the Astros, have had a lot of opportunities to score since the first inning, and it really hasn't happened. Into the 5th inning now. Gavin Lux skies this one high and deep into left center. Back at the track at the wall. Melton, Spider-Man's off the wall. He's unable to make the catch, and that'll be a double for Gavin Lux, despite an unbelievable effort in the left field by Jacob Melton, scaling up the wall like he is Spider-Man to try to grab it. We got to look at this one again here. He almost made the play there. He got a good kick off the wall, and as we look at the replay, you'll notice the ball actually went into his glove. So he had a real chance to catch it, but he dropped it. He did everything right except for holding on to the ball. So Lux is now in scoring position with nobody out. Luis Ariz gets his 3rd base hit of the game. He's now 3 for 3. The Marlins are not going to send the runner. There's nobody out. There's no reason to. He would have been out by a mile. And so there's runners on the corners. Got to score here. Got to bring yourselves back into the game. And I guess putting it on the ground is one way to score. What a play by Jeremy Pena. The Astros will turn 2, but Gavin Lux does score. Still not a successful play, but I guess it could have been worse. It's now 2-1. Kyle Tucker leads off the bottom of the 5th for the Astros. He swings and misses at the fastball right down the middle. Nice pitch by Prelup, who now faces off against the catcher, Keibert Ruiz, who skies this one over the glove of Bo Bichette. And that'll drop for a single into left field. And the Astros have a runner aboard here with 2 away as they look to potentially extend the lead. It's Joe Perez, who's driven in both of the Astros' runs so far. Pops it into right. It's caught by Jesus Sanchez. And it remains 2-1 through 5. Luis Garcia will be taken out of the game. Overall, he had certainly a good performance. He'll be replaced by Stephen Lewis, a 22-year-old making his major league debut. So that's fun. He'll be facing off against Jesus Sanchez with 2 away, little lefty-on-lefty crime, and Sanchez strikes out. So Stephen Lewis goes 1-2-3 in his first big league inning with the Astros as we move into the bottom of the 6th. Jacob Melton crushes this one into right field. That baby is gone. Well out of here. It's now 3-1. The choo-choo train is chugging along the tracks. Melton with his 5th of the year. That'll bring up Yunier Diaz. He strikes out on the fastball. Good pitch by Connor Prelup. Still in the game. Still going strong despite allowing the homer. Chas McCormick hits that one well into left for a hit. And the Astros have another runner aboard as they look to potentially extend the lead. Ketel Marte rips it into left for a single. That's 2 base hits now. Along with the homer in this inning, Connor Prelup is starting to struggle a little bit. He'll be taken out and replaced by Dylan Tate, who has allowed 2 runs in 12 innings. Of course, one of those runs being the homer earlier today by Nick Castellanos. That'll bring up Kyle Tucker, who grounds it to short. Bichette flips it over to second. And we are through 6. The Astros add to their lead with a solo homer by Jacob Melton. Into the 7th inning now. Stephen Lewis still in the game for Houston as he faces off against Tony Tater's Anthony Santander, who strikes out on the fastball. Stephen Lewis looking really good still here in his big league debut. Can he strike out another batter here? It's Austin Wells, and he will. Wells goes down looking on the slurve. What a great pitch. It looked like that one was going to go inside, and then it curves right to the middle of the strike zone. Jose Altuve goes down looking here early in the bottom of the 7th off of the sinker by Dylan Tate. Joe Perez now up. He grounds it to short. Bo Bichette will look to make the play. Good inning here from Dylan Tate. The Astros have only scored 1 since the first inning. Their offense hasn't even been all that good. The problem is the Marlins have not been able to hit the ball today. So the Astros are going to bring out the back end of their bullpen to finish this game off, and we'll start with Kendall Graveman here in the 8th. 3.28 ERA on the year, as he'll face off against Luis Ariz. He's really been the only guy to show up here for the Marlins. 3 for 3. He has half of their hits, and he hit that ball a little too hard as it's going to be caught out in right field by Kyle Tucker. 2 away now for Jazz Chisholm. He's got a full count. If he can get on base, maybe the Marlins can start a little rally. He skies this one high and quite deep in the left field. At the track, at the wall, it is caught. That ball was in the air for a while. Holy hell. It remains 3-1 going into the bottom of the 8th inning as Reynaldo Lopez will come out of the bullpen for Miami. 1.74 ERA on the season. He's looking to make his way through and retire the side as it's a full count for McCormick, who pops this one up. Austin Wells will be under it. He'll make the play, and it's 3-1 going into the top of the 9th. The Marlins need 2 runs to keep the game going as the Astros are going to bring in their closer, Brian Abreu, to finish it off. Abreu is 19 of 22 on save ops this season, although he only has a 4.29 ERA. He hasn't been all that good. His first batter is the first baseman, Woody Landry. He's been quiet today, 0 for 3. But Woody's going to launch this ball into right field. We've got ourselves a ball game as it's within 1. Solo homer for Woody Landry. It's 3-2. Big swing for Landry. His 23rd homer of the year. That leads the team by far. Nearly 440 feet. That ball was an absolute missile into right field. What a beautiful swing by Woody Landry. And we'll see if the rest of the lineup can match his energy. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, still looking for career homer number 100, and it doesn't look like he'll get it today as he swings and misses at the low slurve. He absolutely should not have swung at that. What was he thinking? Anthony Santander is now up with the game on the line. Down to the final strike, and Santander rips it into left for a single. Okay, the Marlins might be cooking something here. 2 away. Tying run aboard. The Astros are going to take Abreu out. He'll be replaced by Brandon Bielak, who's 0 for 2 in save opportunities. Hopefully he blows another one here. And then Kevin Alcantara will replace Anthony Santander as a pinch runner. The Marlins are going to keep Austin Wells in the game rather than bring out a pinch hitter. Wells is hitting around 340 in the month of June as he gets plunked. So the winning run is now aboard, and that'll bring up Gavin Lux. What an opportunity in his first game back, as he lines it into left field, and it'll be caught. And so that'll wrap it up. The Astros win it 3-2. The offense gave a good fight there in the top of the 9th inning, but we did not do enough through the first 8 innings to really give ourselves a shot. 2 runs, just 8 hits here. Luis Arraez was good. He had 3 hits. Woody Landry with the homer. Nobody else really stood out, though. The offense was just not very good. Jesus Luzardo really struggled. He allowed 8 base runners in 3 innings. The bullpen, though, was quite good. I'll give them credit for keeping us in the game, but Luzardo struggled. The offense struggled. The Astros didn't even really hit the ball all that well, but they did enough early in the game to do some damage on Luzardo and get the win. So with that, we're currently now 2 games behind the Braves. We'll wrap up this Houston series before our 3-game set in Atlanta, and we will not have Jesus Sanchez available for that series, so Ryan Poles will be called up to replace him. We end up splitting the 2 games. The last one we won 14-9. A lot of offense. Holy smokes. We hit the ball really well. Ryan Poles went deep twice for his first 2 Major League homers. How about that? So now we are 3 games behind the Braves, and we're 1.5 ahead of the Phillies for that top wild card spot in the National League, leading to a huge series against the Braves. Both teams have all their best pitchers going. We'll make it to the All-Star break as well, going through the series against the Pirates and the Angels. We're also going to have our draft preview in the next episode, so it should be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.